We continue now at the top of Daf Mem Daled Amud Beis in Meseches Shabbos. This is Shabbos Daf 44b. The Gemara here is in the middle of a question that Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak is asking on Rav Yehuda Amar Rav. Rav Yehuda Amar Rav said that if you designate a bed for money, that's enough to make it muksa. Essentially, designation alone works. And Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak is asking from a brisa regarding a candle, and he continues his question: Uman ner de lahachi avida. When it comes to a candle, it is made to light the candle. We're supposed to be lighting candles. A bed is not designated for money. You're designating it for something that's not a normal use. So if a candle, which is made for this purpose, kilo hidlik ba shari l'tiltula, if you haven't yet lit with this candle, as we said, if it's a ner chadash, it's totally permitted to move it around. Apparently, designation enough is not alone. Mita de lav lahachi avid. If you have a bed which is not made for the purpose of having money on it, lo kol shekain, certainly it needs to actually be used for the money. Designation alone should not be good. So that's the question on Rav Yehuda Amar Rav. And so the Gemara revises what Rav Yehuda Amar Rav said. Rather, if Rav Yehuda Amar Rav said anything, this is what he said. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav. Rav Yehuda said in the name of Rav, Mita sheyichta lamos. If one has a bed which is designated for money, hiniach alamos. If money was placed on it, asur l'taltal, then the bed cannot be moved. Lo hiniach alamos. If money was not placed on it, mutter l'taltal, it is mutter to move it. Lo yichta lamos. But if it was not designated for money at all, then the rule changes slightly. Yesh alamos asur l'taltal. If money is actually on the bed, it cannot be moved. Ein alamos mutter l'taltal. If there's no money on it, then it can be moved. V'hu shelo hayu ala bein hashmashos. As long as the money was not sitting on there the entire bein hashmashos. Rashi here explains what exactly are these principles of Rav Yehuda Amar Rav. Hiniach alamos goes like this: if money was placed on the bed, Rashi says afilu b'chol. Even if a person put money on this bed during a weekday, and this is a bed that has been designated for money, hare huksa le'isr, it becomes muksa for this isr. V'asr l'taltal, it can't move it around. V'afilu nistalko hamos mi ba'od yom, even if the money was removed before Shabbos. V'lo dami l'ner shal matchis deshari Rav Yehuda dehasam below yichtu. This will not be comparable to a metal candle where Rav Yehuda said if it was lit before Shabbos, it was never lit on Shabbos, so it's not mos, it's not disgusting, and it was not lit on Shabbos, so you don't have muksa machmas isser. There, Rav Yehuda said it's okay. The distinction is that there was no designation by a candle. Over here, you have designation, plus you put on the money before Shabbos, even though it was only a weekday, that would be a problem. However, lo yichta lamos, if it was not designated for money, then ein aleh mos b'Shabbos. If there's no money on it on Shabbos itself, mutter l'taltal, it would be mutter to move it v'af agav diniach aleh mos b'chol. Even though money was put on there on the weekday, because this was not designated for money. But Rashi continues, v'hu shenistalku mi ba'od yom. That's only true if the money was removed before Shabbos, shelo hayu aleh kol bein hashmashos, that the money wasn't sitting on the bed the entire bein hashmashos. Aval hayu aleh kol bein hashmashos, but if the money was there the whole bein hashmashos, iskatzi l'kula yom, it would now become muksa for the whole Shabbos. That, of course, follows the principle we mentioned a little earlier, migo diskatzoi lebein hashmashos, iskatzoi l'kula yom. So that's the revised Rav Yehuda Amar Rav. The Gemara now continues. Amar Ula says, Mesiv Rebbe Lazar. Rebbe Lazar asks on this revised version of Rav Yehuda Amar Rav, and he's asking from a Mishnah in Kalim. It says, Muchni Shalah, the way Rashi understands this is the wheel of a wagon. Bisman shehi nishmetis. If this wheel can come off the wagon, you can take it on and off the wagon. And Rashi says that was similar to the wagons they had in the days of Rashi. Ein chibor la, ve'ein nimdedes ima, ve'ein matzelas ima be'ol hames, which this means that it's not considered one unit. Ein chibor la, it's not attached to the wagon regarding laws of Tumah. It is not measured with the wagon regarding laws of Tumah, and it also is not matzil in an oel hames together with the wagon. And then the key line here, ve'ein gorin osa b'Shabbos bisman sheyesh aleh mos. You're not allowed to drag it on Shabbos if there is money on it. So now Rebbe Lazar makes the following diak from the Mishnah. Ha'ein aleh mos sharia. It sounds like if there would be no money on it, it would be permissible to move it on Shabbos. Afagav dehavu bein hashmashos. Even though there was money on there, bein hashmashos. So, meaning the main question is, before we said that if the money was on the bed, the entire bein hashmashos, that makes it muksa. But here, the implication of this mission is that if the money is sitting on this muchni, on this wheel, the entire bein hashmashos, it would not make it muksa. So the Gemara answers, Ahi Rabbi Shimon he de les le muksa. We'll simply answer that this Mishnah follows the opinion of Rabbi Shimon that doesn't hold a muksa. When we said before Rav Yehuda Amar Rav, that if it's there the entire bein hashmashos, it was muksa by the case of the bed, that was following the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda that there is such a thing as muksa. Over here, we're following Rabbi Shimon that there is no muksa. Of course, the question is going to be, if there's no muksa, how come when the money is on there it's a problem? We'll see that in Rashi. But in any case, the Gemara finishes off, Rav Rabbi Yehuda Svirale. Rav holds like Rabbi Yehuda. When Rav made his statement about muksa on the bed, he was following the position of Rabbi Yehuda. We'll do a few Rashis here just to understand the basics of what's going on with the Tumah, and of course also to understand Rabbi Shimon's opinion that the money is a problem when it's on the muchni, but it's not a problem when it's off the muchni. So Rashi says here, first of all, Eino Chibur, that's not attached. The Chashuvahi Kli La'atzma. This is considered its own separate kli from the rest of the wagon. If the wagon would become tumah because it's not too large, the halach is it has to be under a certain size to be tameh. Lo nitma hamuchni, then the muchni is not going to become tameh together with it. Or you can go the other way. Let's say it's too large, so it's not able to be mekabel tumah. The naga tumah b'muchni, and the tumah touches the muchni. Hamuchni tameh la'atzma. The muchni will be tameh on its own, and the sheda will not get that tumah. That's the idea of chibur law. For eina nimdedes ima, it's along the same lines. Ve'eina nimdedes ima l'inyan tumah k'defarishis, like I explained before. If you have a kliyetz which is very large, so then it's tar. Can aminu beba'amem the kliyetz is kishlasak sheim metaltal moli v'reikan v'zuein metaltal moli. Utnan Meseches Kelim Aisin Gemara Menachas Hasheda Beisolom Nimdedes Mivachutz. The Rona Sakilu Yomedes Besoch Kli Gadol V'Machzik Oso Kli Memsa Tahora Hasheda. V'Afapi Shena Shehi Eina Machzekes Memsa Tekasavar Af Ovya Nimded Ima. So essentially that means that even the thickness of the wagon counts when you're trying to determine the size. But the point of this mission is V'Hamuchni Eino Nimded Ima Lahashlim. The muchni doesn't get measured with it to complete it. And then the last halach it said over there was Ve'ena Matzalas Ima Biol HaMeis. De'im hasheda machzekes memsa de'ena mechabelas tuma matzelas ba'oel hameis v'have oel la'atzma. The sheda, if it is a certain size that it's not mekabel tuma, it can be matzel ba'oel hameis, and that would not apply to the muchni, would not be together with it. Rashi, as we go on over here, v'gova hamuchni megan aleim eino matzil the muchni kliu la'atzma u'mekabel tuma ve'eno chos b'fnei tuma. The muchni is its own kli, so even if the sheda is being matzil, the muchni would not be matzil, it would actually be mekabel tumah, it's its own kli. Rashi has here a couple of different explanations, exactly what we're talking about in terms of eno matzil bo'ol hameis. We're not going to go through that entire Rashi, but we will take a look at this last Rashi. Hahi Rabbi Shimon hi umiu mos lo chazum midi. Rashi says that even according to Rabbi Shimon, who doesn't hold of muksa, money itself is muksa because it's not fit at all for Shabbos. Umod Rabbi Shimon to odan olav aser. And Rabbi Shimon would admit that in such a case, if the money is still on the wheel of the wagon, it would be a problem of muksa, it would be usher. So in other words, Rashi is telling us that according to Rabbi Shimon, when we say Rabbi Shimon doesn't hold of muksa, it still has to have some kind of use for Shabbos. In those situations, he doesn't hold of muksa, but something that is completely not usable at all would in fact be muksa. And we will continue Daf Mem Hey Amud Aleph in the next video.